Kaspa holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys know what time it is, of course, so let's waste no more time and take a look at what's happening with our good old friend Kaspa. So first and foremost, let's take a look at what's happening with the broader market. I'm sure it's no secret at this point if you're looking at the screen. We're seeing, a sea of red once again. A lot of manipulation happening across the crypto space, and what we've discussed over the last, few updates, really starting to show how important it really is, as to what we've been discussing. So obviously, these tariff conversations are really still ongoing. Investor confidence is still quite low. A lot of uncertainty within the space, which of course is reflecting not just within the crypto markets, but also the traditional market, the bond market, and so on and so forth. But looking at Kaspa down 5% once again, with the price currently sitting at 6 cents to be exact. Also down 0.3% in Bitcoin comparative. Market cap at 1.56 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $80.1 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So you guys know we're going to start off with the Bitcoin dominance index. I've been indicating to you guys, we're kind of starting to see a little bit of a range forming, for the dominance itself. But again, in a grand scheme of things, we are still really, really high for the dominance. So, a little bit of, a budge in Bitcoin's price. And, Bitcoin hasn't touched the neckline of the 0.50 fib support line. Once again, exactly what we discussed over the last few hours, actually. I said, if we're unable to close the daily candle above $77,000, the chance of us falling below is still on the table, and that's exactly what we saw happening right at the neckline. Of course, the dominance didn't really make its way up to 64%. It's still ranging around the 63.5%. That did save altcoins, in my opinion, a little bit better than what could have ended up happening. I think we could have ended up seeing more downside for altcoins if dominance did make its way back up to the 64%. So again, in terms of positive news, that is something that you kind of take a look at it from a positive standpoint. But of course, obviously the bigger picture is something that you really don't want to be ignoring, and that is the fact that we're still seeing the dominance still sitting quite high. But Bitcoin has seen a little bit of a bounce. Tariffs are alive. Of course, this bounce could be a complete fake out. So again, in terms of getting excited, that is something, we need to kind of hold off on, wait for a little bit more confirmation. As far as Kaspa is concerned, let's really take a look at it on the hourly time frame here. So if you're looking at CAS right now, guys, CAS is obviously, we did retest the likes of 6.5 cents. Very, very impressive. We didn't really manage to, close the deal. Fill the, wick that we saw just a few hours back at 6.8 cents, but we did come very close, which again is really interesting to see. And what's really also interesting to see for Kaspa here is the fact that again, if you've been watching my coverage, my analysis pretty much over the last 7-8 months, I've been covering Kaspa way longer than that. But obviously August of last year is when I turned bearish on Kaspa, because of the fact that we were seeing bearish sentiment and bearish price action. But over the course of the last, I would say, month and a half, you have started to see, Kaspa kind of reacting in a positive way, and actually being correlated with the market. Before it was kind of decoupled, not obviously entirely, but it was kind of decoupled, where you did see positive price action coming from the broader market, but Kaspa was not showing any sort of moves. But you're starting to see it kind of balancing itself out with the market. So right now, we're still holding at that 6 cents price point. Like I said, you really want to be thanking the dominance for the fact that it's still sitting at 63.44%. Obviously that is helping, I think, a lot of altcoins, not just Kaspa. The fact that we're still sitting at 6 cents, it's a good thing to see. Of course, significant amount of resistance coming in its way. But right now, the chances of us, making our way down to the likes of 5.3 cents is still on the table, as I've stated to you guys before in my other updates, because of the fact that, you're still seeing dominance really high, and, Bitcoin is still not at the level where you really want to see it. So again, we're going to see what happens. But as of now, good thing the way it's holding. Confirmation still, of course, guys, is at that 8.2 cents. If we're able to break out, that would be a clear indication that 78.6 could be retested, but that might be delayed a little bit depending on how the market goes. But let me know down below what you guys think. What are your personal predictions as of now? So far so good, but if you end up losing the support around this 5.8 cents roughly, then we could potentially retest the level we set for ourselves yesterday. But let me know down below what you guys think. We'll see you later. Bring Crypto ZX, and peace out.